Good day, everyone. Today, I'll be discussing one of the most important part of volleyball, the state of play and rules of the game. These rules help us understand when the ball is in play, out of play, and what action are allowed or not during the game. So, first, let's talk about the states of play. The ball is in play from the moment the server hits the ball after the referee gives the signal. It becomes out of play when a referee whistle for a fault when the rally officially ends. So first, let's talk about the state of play. The ball is in play from the moment the server hits the ball after the referee gives the signal. It becomes out of play when a referee whistle for a fault or when the rally officially ends. The ball is considered in if it touches any part of the court, including the boundary lines. However, the ball is out when it lands completely outside the lines, touches objects or people outside the court, hits the antenna or post, or passes under or outside the net. Now, let's move on to playing the ball. Each team is allowed a maximum of 3 hits to return the ball. If they hit it more than 3 times, that's a fault called 4 hits. A player is not allowed to hit the ball twice in a row. This is called double contact. But if 2 players from opposite teams touch the ball at the same time and it stays in play, the rally continues. If the ball goes out, the fault goes to the opposite team. Players are also not allowed to use teammates or structures to support when reaching the ball. However, they may be held back by a teammate to prevent touching the net or crossing the center line. Now, let's talk about characteristics of the hit. The ball can touch any part of the body, but it must be hit, not caught or thrown. It can touch different part of the body, but only if the contact happens at the same time. During blocking or during the first team hit, the ball may touch different body parts if it is happened in one action. And then let's move on to the fault in the playing the ball. So, some common faults in volleyball are 4 hits. When a team hits the ball 4 times before sending it over. Second, assisted hit, using support from a teammate or structure. Third, catch, when the ball is caught or thrown instead of being hit. And fourth, double contact, when the player touches the ball twice in succession. The rules of volleyball are made to keep the game fair and exciting, knowing when the ball is in or out, and understanding the proper way to hit help us become better players and enjoy the sports more. That's all for my report. Thank you, and I hope you learned something about the states of play and rules of volleyball.
Good day, sir. My name is Mijay Labucana. My topic is ball at the net. A ball at the net can refer to several situations, including a ball hitting the net during play, a let serve that hits the net but goes over, or a player reaching across to play the ball. Ball crossing the net. Number 1. The ball sent the opponent's court must go over the net within the crossing space is the part of the vertical plane of the net limited as follows. First, below by the top of the net. It refers to the crossing space in volleyball, which is the area where the ball must pass over the net to be a legal play. The crossing space is defined vertically as being between the top of the net and the ceiling, and horizontally as being between the antennae on either side of the net. In a legal play, a player can hit the ball to the opponent's side as long as it stays within this space. Second, at the sides by the antennae and their imaginary extension. In volleyball, the antennae and their imaginary extensions define the crossing space for the ball over the net. The antennae are flexible rods attached to the sides of the net directly above the court sidelines. Here is what happens when the ball is played around this boundary. The crossing space for a ball to legally cross the net to the opponent's side. It must pass through the space directly over the net and completely between the two antennae. Imaginary extension, the boundary created by each antenna extends vertically upward to the ceiling. Any ball that crosses the net plane either partially or completely outside of this imaginary extension is considered out of play. Third is above the ceiling. A ball hitting the ceiling is playable depends on the rule set, but generally it considered legal only if the ball hits the ceiling on your own side of the net and does not go over the opponent's side. If the ball goes over the net after hitting the ceiling, it is a fault and the opposing team scores a point. Ball in the net. A volleyball hitting the net is generally still in play, as long as it crosses the opponent's side or can be recovered within the 3-hit limit. Assisted hit is a fault, meaning it's an illegal play where a player receives support from a teammate or any other object, like a wall or post, to help them reach or play the ball. Characteristics of hit. A ball can be legally touched with any part of the body, though it is often a matter of skill and preference to use certain body parts like hands. Stating that the ball must be hit cleanly, not caught or thrown. A hit means the ball rebounds from the contact, while a held ball is a fault that occurs when a player catches or carries the ball. It can rebound in any direction, but prolonged contact or catching it is illegal. Faults in the playing the ball. First, 4 hits. A violation where a team touches the ball 4 times before sending it back over the net, which is illegal because a team is only allowed 3 hits. However, an attempted block does not count as one of the team's 3 hits. After the block, the team is entitled to 3 more contacts. Second, assisted hit is a fault wherein a player receives support from a teammate or any external object to make a play on the ball. This is illegal because it gives an unfair advantage. Examples include a teammate boosting another player or a player using a wall, curtain, or net post to reach the ball. Third, catching the ball is an illegal action in regular volleyball. It is a violation that results in a point for the opponent because the ball must be hit, not caught or thrown. However, variations of the game like newcomb ball are designed for younger players and allow catching the throwing the ball. Catching is also a key skill in training drills, but it's not a part of official games rules.
Good day everyone, I am Ashley Tess and I will be discussing about the player at the net. In volleyball, the net separates the two teams and there are specific rules that players must follow when playing close to it. These rules make sure that the game stays fair and safe. So let's discuss the main points such as reaching beyond the net, penetration under the net, contact with the net, and player's fault at the net. Reaching beyond the net. First, in blocking, a blocker may touch the ball beyond the net, provided that he or she does not interfere with the opponent's play before or during the latter's attack hit. 2. A player is permitted to pass his or her hand beyond the net after an attack hit, provided that the contact has been made within his or her own playing space. In reaching beyond the net, when blocking, a player may touch the ball beyond the net as long as it does not interfere with the opponent's play before or during their attack hit. A player is also allowed to extend their hand beyond the net after an attack hit, but only if contact with the ball happen within their own side first. In short, reaching beyond the net is allowed only when it does not disturb the other team's play. Penetration under the net. Number 1. It is permitted to penetrate into the opponent's space under the net, provided that this does not interfere with the opponent's play. Number 2. Penetration into the opponent's court beyond the century line. To touch the opponent's court with a foot, feet, or hands is permitted, provided that some part of the penetrating foot, feet, or hands remains either in the contact with or directly above the century line. To contact the opponent's court with any other parts of the body is forbidden. 3. A player may enter the opponent's court after the ball goes out of the play. 4. Players may penetrate into the opponent's free zone provided that they do not interfere with the opponent's play. So ang pasabot dito is pwede mo sulod sa ilalom sa net ngadto sa kontra basta dili makasamok sa ilang duwa. Og pwede pod makatouch sa court sa kontra gamit ang tiil o kamot basta naa gihapon ang usa ka bahin niini sa ibabaw o contact sa center line. Pero kung laing part na sa lawas amo matouch sa kontra sa court is dili na pwede. Ang player pod is pwede makasulod sa court sa kontra kung humana na ang duwa o nakagawas na ang bola. Pwede pod mosulod sa free zone sa kontra basta dili makasamok sa ilang duwa. Next is contact with net. Number 1. Contact with the net or Athena is not a fault, except when a player touches them during his or her action of playing the ball or it interferes with the play. Some action of playing the ball may include action in which the players do not actually touch the ball. Number 2. Once the player has hit the ball, he or she may touch the post, rope, or any other object outside the total length of the net provided that it does not interfere with the play. Number 3. When the ball is driven into the net and causes it to touch an opponent, no fault is committed. So, for contact with the net, touching the net is not always a fault. Mahimo ra ni siyang fault if ang player is while nagduwa sa sa bola is na-touch niya ang net. Mo nay mahimong fault na. So, after hitting the ball, a player may touch the post, rope, or any outside the net as long as it does not affect or dili makaapekto sa duwa. If the ball hits the net and then touches an opponent, no fault is committed. Last is player's fault at the net. Number 1, a player touches the ball or an opponent's space before or during the opponent's attack hit. Number 2, a player penetrates into the opponent's space under the net, interfering with the latter's play. Number 3, a player penetrates into the opponent's court. Number 4, a player touches the net or the Athena during his or her action of playing the ball or interferes with the play. So, player's fault at the net, touching the ball or the opponent's space before or during the attack, you cannot reach over the net and touch the ball while your opponent is still making their attack hit. You also can touch their playing space while they are hitting. For example, ikaw ay if mo block ka unya sayo ra kayo unya imong kamot is na touch ang net unya while the opponent is still spiking, matawag na nato siyang fault. So going under the net and interfering, you may go slightly under the net, but not if it interferes with the opponent's play. For example, if your foot goes under and the opponent trips or it is distracted, it is a fault. So entering the opponent's court, it is a fault if any part of your body fully crosses into the opponent's court while the ball is still in play. For example, imong tiil o imong lawas is nilapas sa center line sa pikas is dili na siya pwede. And also, touching the net during play, you cannot touch the net while you are hitting, blocking, or any action to play the ball. For example, imong kamot, imong kanang arm or jersey kay na-touch sa net during during sa spike or blocking. Matawag na nato na siyang fault kay na-touch man ang imong arm o jersey o any parts of your body na touch sa net, mo na nato matawag siya og fault. And that's all for my part, and I hope you have learned.
Good day, everyone. My assigned topic is all about attack, hit, and block. The attack hit is that all actions will direct the ball towards the opponents, with the exception of service and block are considered as attack hit. And there are restrictions of the attack hit. First is the front row player may complete an attack hit at any height. They provided that the contact with the ball has been made within the player's own player space. Second is the back row player may complete an attack hit at any height behind the front zone. When the player, his or her, take off in the player foot, must either have touched, not crossed, over the attack line. After the player hit, the player may land within the front. Next is the attack hit faults. First, a player should hit the ball within the playing spacing of the opposing team. Second, a player hits the ball out. Third is the back row player completes an attack hit from the front zone. And last is a player completes when they attack and hit on opponent's surface, when the ball is the front zone and entirely above the top of net. Next is the block. It is the action of players close to the net to intercept the ball coming from the opponent by reaching higher than the top of the net. And there are 6 rules of block. First is the collective block, where the players executed by 2 or 3 close to each other and is completed when one them touches the ball. Next is the block contact, where the players' consecutive or quick and continuous contacts may occur by one or more blockers provided that the contacts are made during one action. Next is the block within the opponent's space. Is the player may place his or her hands and arms beyond the net provided that this action does not interfere with the opponent's play. Next is the block and team hits. A block contract is not as a team hit. After the block, the first hit may be executed by any player, including who has touched the ball during the block. Lastly is the blocking surface. To block opponent's service is forbidden. It is the forbidden service of the block opponent. And there are 6 blocking faults. First is the blocker should touches the ball in the opponent's either before or simultaneously. Second is a back row. Libero completes a block or participants in completed block. Third is the blocking the opponent's surface. Fourth is the ball is sent out of the block. The 5 is blocking the ball in the opponent's outside the antenna. Last is a libero must an individual or collective block. And that's all the inputs of volleyball states of play in volleyball room.